Have you ever wondered why people all over the world are skipping meals on purpose? Intermittent fasting isn't just a passing trend, it's a global health movement backed by growing scientific evidence. From Silicon Valley entrepreneurs to ancient spiritual practices, fasting has become the bridge between ancient wisdom and modern science. But what really happens inside your body when you stop eating for hours on end? The truth is, the human body is far more adaptable than we imagine. For thousands of years, fasting wasn't a choice, it was survival. Our ancestors often went days without food, and our biology learned to thrive in those moments. That ancient mechanism is exactly what you're reactivating when you start intermittent fasting today. At first glance, fasting might look like deprivation, but in reality, it's an act of restoration. It triggers a chain of biological reactions that repair, recycle, and reset your cells. Science calls it metabolic switching, a process that teaches your body to burn fat instead of sugar for fuel. And here's the twist. Most people who try fasting for 30 days don't just lose weight. They discover a sharper mind, better energy, and a new sense of control. But before the benefits unfold, the first few days test your willpower like never before. The first morning you skip breakfast feels strange. Your stomach grumbles, your energy dips, and your brain seems to whisper, "Feed me." That's your blood sugar talking. In the early days, your body is still addicted to constant glucose intake. Every few hours, it expects a refill. Around the 12th hour of fasting, something shifts. Your insulin levels start to drop, and your liver begins converting stored glycogen into glucose to keep you going. You might feel irritable, tired, or even dizzy. Don't worry, this isn't weakness, it's adaptation. By day 3 or 4, your metabolism starts to get the message: no more constant feeding. Instead, it begins unlocking stored fat as energy. That's when many people report their first fasting high, a sudden burst of clarity and lightness that feels almost meditative. Yet the toughest challenge isn't physical, it's mental. You're not just fighting hunger, you're fighting habit. Every skipped meal is a psychological battle between comfort and curiosity, and that's where transformation begins. When your blood sugar finally drops, your body enters a new metabolic rhythm. Without frequent glucose spikes, your insulin sensitivity improves, meaning your cells become more efficient at using energy. In a world overloaded with carbs, this reset is pure gold for your metabolism. During fasting, your body starts tapping into fat reserves for energy. This switch doesn't just help with weight. It lowers inflammation, stabilizes hormones, and may even improve brain health. Scientists call this the fat adaptation phase, and it's the turning point of any fasting experiment. But here's the fascinating part. As your glucose levels stabilize, your cravings also start to fade. Food no longer controls your thoughts the same way it used to. It's as if your body, for the first time, remembers how to self-regulate again. And while this might sound like magic, it's pure biology. Your body was designed to handle periods of scarcity. It just needed a reason to remember how. Around the end of the first week, something remarkable happens. Your brain wakes up. With glucose levels more stable and inflammation reduced, cognitive performance begins to rise. You start thinking faster, focusing longer, and even feeling more emotionally balanced. Fasting increases levels of a brain chemical called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It acts like a fertilizer for neurons, helping new connections grow and protecting existing ones. This is why many people report enhanced creativity and mental clarity during fasting. There's also a surprising psychological twist. Fasting gives you discipline. The simple act of saying no to food builds mental resilience that spills over into other parts of life: work, relationships, self-control. You begin to feel powerful, not deprived. But the brain isn't done evolving yet. Deep inside your cells, a silent cleaning process is about to begin. A biological recycling system that might just change the way you age.
Autophagy literally means self-eating. But don't worry, it's not as scary as it sounds. This is the process where your cells start cleaning themselves, removing damaged components and making room for new, healthy ones. It's like spring cleaning at a microscopic level. This natural detox begins after about 16 to 20 hours of fasting and becomes stronger the longer you stay without food. Scientists believe autophagy is one of the main reasons fasting is linked to longevity and reduced disease risk. By the end of the second week, your cells are working smarter, not harder. Old malfunctioning proteins are recycled, and your immune system gets a boost. It's your body's way of thanking you for giving it a break from constant digestion. And the best part? You don't feel weaker. You feel lighter, sharper, and strangely, more alive. But that's just the beginning. The real metabolic magic starts in the next phase, when your body learns a new way to generate energy. If you're enjoying this deep dive into what really happens inside your body, make sure to subscribe now. There's a lot more science coming your way that you don't want to miss. By the third week, your metabolism no longer panics when food isn't coming. It becomes strategic. Your body starts to operate like a hybrid engine, switching between sugar and fat as energy sources with ease. This flexibility is called metabolic adaptation, and it's one of the key goals of intermittent fasting. Fat becomes your new fuel. As your insulin stays low, your liver produces molecules called ketones, which your brain and muscles use for energy. These ketones burn cleaner than glucose, producing less oxidative stress. In simpler terms, you're running on premium fuel now. The change is profound. Your body temperature stabilizes, your hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, balance out, and your cravings drop dramatically. You begin to eat not out of habit, but out of genuine need. That shift alone rewires your relationship with food forever. What's fascinating is that this metabolic transformation doesn't just reshape your body, it reshapes your identity. You start to see yourself as someone in control, not controlled by appetite. That's the silent victory of fasting that no scale can measure. Somewhere around day 15, something clicks. You wake up before your alarm, your thoughts feel lighter, and your energy seems endless. This is the point where most people realize fasting isn't about starvation, it's about optimization. Your mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses in your cells, become more efficient at generating energy. Studies show fasting increases mitochondrial biogenesis, meaning your body literally creates more of them. More mitochondria equals more energy, endurance, and vitality. Mentally, you begin to experience a unique calm alertness. The fog of fatigue lifts, and you feel centered. Many compare it to meditation. Your brain stops screaming for snacks and finally starts listening to silence. It's a mental clarity you didn't know was possible. But here's where curiosity meets caution. With great energy comes temptation. You might feel invincible and start pushing limits, training harder, eating less. The key now is balance, because the next phase reveals what happens when fasting goes too far. Every powerful tool can become dangerous if used without awareness. Intermittent fasting isn't for everyone, and by the third week, some hidden risks can emerge. Fatigue, irritability, and disrupted hormones are warning signs your body is struggling to keep up. For women, fasting may temporarily affect menstrual cycles or thyroid balance. For men, it can trigger stress responses that interfere with sleep and muscle recovery. That's why listening to your body, not just following a trend, is essential.
The biggest mistake many make is turning fasting into punishment. Skipping meals excessively or combining fasting with severe calorie restriction can lead to nutrient deficiencies and burnout.
the line between discipline and obsession is thinner than you think. Science teaches us that fasting should feel empowering, not exhausting. If your energy crashes or your mood swings wildly, that's your body asking for help, not applause. The goal is not to conquer hunger, it's to harmonize with it. As your body adjusts to fasting, your sleep patterns can temporarily change. Some people feel restless at night, while others sleep deeper than ever. This happens because fasting alters your cortisol and melatonin rhythms, two hormones that regulate stress and rest. In the first few weeks, cortisol levels might spike slightly, keeping you more alert. This can create insomnia or vivid dreams. But as your metabolism stabilizes, your body learns to lower nighttime cortisol and increase melatonin, leading to better, more restorative sleep. There's also a fascinating connection between fasting and anxiety. Early on, hunger can trigger mild stress. Your brain is simply reacting to change. Yet, over time, fasting reduces oxidative stress and inflammation, which are linked to mood disorders. Many report feeling calmer and emotionally lighter after 30 days. The real magic lies in contrast. Moments of hunger teach you to appreciate comfort, and moments of stillness reveal what constant eating was hiding: mental clutter. Fasting isn't just cleansing your body, it's cleansing your mind. One of the biggest myths about fasting is that it destroys muscle. In reality, short-term fasting, when done correctly, can protect muscle mass while improving endurance. The key lies in a powerful hormone, growth hormone. During fasting, GH levels can increase up to 5-fold. This hormone helps preserve lean tissue and stimulates fat breakdown for energy. That's why many athletes use intermittent fasting to enhance performance, not diminish it. However, timing is crucial. Pairing fasting with resistance training or post-fast protein intake helps maintain muscle. It's not about starving your muscles, it's about teaching them to use energy more efficiently. So no, fasting doesn't make you weaker, it makes you smarter metabolically. By the 30-day mark, many people find that they can work out longer, recover faster, and feel more connected to their body's signals. It's not just transformation, it's synchronization. By the 4th week, fasting stops being an experiment, it becomes an experience. Deep inside your body, a quiet revolution is happening. Cellular stress resistance increases, DNA repair enzymes activate, and inflammation markers drop. This is the foundation of longevity science. Studies on animals and humans show that intermittent fasting stimulates sirtuins, a family of proteins linked to lifespan extension. These sirtuins act like tiny guardians, protecting your cells from damage and helping them function longer. In simple terms, fasting helps your body age more gracefully. It's not about living forever, it's about living better. Your skin may look clearer, your energy steadier, your thoughts sharper. Every fasted hour gives your body time to heal instead of just process. You're not just extending time, you're improving its quality. And here's the paradox. To live longer, sometimes you must learn to go without. That's the wisdom hidden in every hunger pang, a reminder that simplicity can be the most sophisticated form of health.
When you reach day 30, the mirror may not tell the full story, but your cells will. Your body now understands fasting as part of its rhythm, not as a threat. Hormones, metabolism, and mental clarity all find their new baseline. You've crossed from discipline into instinct. Insulin sensitivity is improved, inflammation reduced, and your body composition subtly reshaped. You may have lost weight, yes, but more importantly, you've gained control. That feeling of calm confidence around food is one of fasting's most underrated rewards. Your digestive system feels lighter. Bloating, cravings, and post-meal crashes fade. Your body has learned to work smarter, not harder. Food is no longer a constant distraction, it's fuel, consciously chosen, deeply appreciated. But perhaps the greatest transformation isn't physical, it's emotional.
You've proven to yourself that you can change, adapt, and master the art of restraint in a world that constantly tempts you to indulge. That's real freedom. There's a lot of noise around fasting. Some call it a miracle, others call it a fad. The truth, as always, lives in the data. Science confirms that fasting can improve metabolic health, brain function, and longevity, but it's not magic, and it's not for everyone. Fasting works best when paired with balance. If your diet outside the fasting window is chaotic, ultra-processed foods, low nutrients, no fasting schedule will save you. What truly matters is how you nourish your body when you do eat. Another myth is that fasting suits all body types equally. Genetics, gender, and lifestyle all play roles. What energizes one person might exhaust another. That's why personalization is key. Science gives the framework, but you must listen to your own biology. So what's the real takeaway? Fasting isn't about skipping meals. It's about resetting your relationship with energy, awareness, and choice. That's the truth science quietly whispers behind every headline. If you found the brain effects of fasting fascinating, you'll love this one next. What happens to your brain if you quit sugar for 30 days? Science explained. It dives deeper into how cutting sugar transforms your focus, energy, and mental clarity. Go watch it right after this video. After 30 days, you stand at a crossroads. You felt the hunger, the energy, the doubts, and the breakthroughs. Now comes the real question. Should you keep going? The answer depends on what you've discovered about yourself. If you found balance, clarity, and strength, then yes, fasting can become a lifelong ally. You've unlocked a biological rhythm that reconnects you to your natural state. But if you felt drained or stressed, it's okay to stop. Fasting is a tool, not a test. The most important lesson isn't about food. It's about awareness. You've learned how powerful discipline can be when guided by curiosity instead of fear. You've proven that transformation doesn't come from addition, but from subtraction. So is it worth it? Science says yes, but only if it brings you peace, not pressure. Because at the end of the day, the greatest discovery fasting offers is not about how long you can go without eating. It's about how deeply you can learn to listen to your body. If you've made it this far, your curiosity is already stronger than your cravings. Tell me in the comments, would you try intermittent fasting for 30 days? And if you enjoyed this deep dive into science and self-control, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone curious enough to skip their next meal for science.